Well, good afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year. From the start of my time as mayor, I've made it very, very clear that I've got no higher priority than working to improve public safety here in the city of Milwaukee. That work is underway to make Milwaukee a safer place, is paying dividends. Right now, today, we're a demonstrably more safe city than we were when I initially took office as mayor over the course of the last 3 years. Crime is down in Milwaukee, violence is down in Milwaukee, and fewer lives are lost to gunfire. We prefer for there to be 0 lives lost to gunfire. When that happens, folks don't have a loved one at the dinner table. There are ripple effects that go into the community when somebody's life is lost. So we don't want to see any of that. So we continue to work to see fewer lives lost to gunfire. Well, there's no simple approaches to improving safety. The framework that we employ in my administration of the city is pretty straightforward. Those are accountability and prevention. Those two things, those are the pillars. Accountability and prevention are the pillars that we focus on. Accountability through the criminal justice system, through police, of course, through prosecutors, through the courts. All of them play a vital role, and we'll continue to work with our partners there. But accountability is more than just that, though. It isn't just left up to systems. Accountability also has to take place in homes. Accountability also has to take place in schools as well. Accountability demands that antisocial behavior is addressed and corrected whenever the opportunity presents itself for us to be able to do that. But as I said, it's not just accountability. Prevention is also a part of the mix, and it needs to be a part of the mix. So whether it's city agencies, whether it's community organizations, families, friends, neighbors, you name it, we all have to take part in prevention to make sure our city is a safe place. We must make sure that young people have the tools that they need to be positive citizens here in our community. So I've talked about Camp Rise. You guys know about that program that we're really proud of. It's an excellent example in which hundreds of young people each and every single summer have the opportunity. Some of these kids as young as 10 years old have the opportunity to be engaged in a positive manner, especially in the summertime. And when they're doing so, they're earning money, they're developing skills, they're learning about opportunities, they're adding to the workforce pipeline down the line. So we need to continue to focus on issues like that in order to make the city safer. This type of prevention is guiding Milwaukee's kids away from trouble, and that's something we want to continue to build on. There are other factors that also affect safety in Milwaukee or any community. Our economy here is strong and employment is high, and that also makes a difference. Gun violence is notably down, with homicides lower by almost 40% over the course of the last 2 years. But even though that has happened, that's not a reason for us to rest. And we're not resting, and the chief will talk about this as well. The increase in carjacking jumps out among the crime statistics. But I know that there's work that's underway in order to address that very issue. But overall, I am quite satisfied with the direction that we're headed. And 2024's success should motivate all of us, as it motivates me, to keep working to make the city safer for everybody involved. And again, one of our chief and primary sponsors or supporters and partners in working to make a city a safer place are the men and women of the Milwaukee Police Department. And those men and women of this department are led by Chief Jeffrey Norman, whose work and partnership I really, really appreciate. So I'm going to introduce the chief now. Chief, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Justin. Today, I share with you our city's 2025 end of the year crime data, third quarter crime data. This data tracks Part 1 crime through December 31st, 2024. For the second year in a row, Part 1 crime is down. Again, second year in a row, Part 1 crime is down. In 2024, Part 1 crime decreased by 4%. Homicides decreased by 23%. Property crime has decreased 4%. But I'm not going to just highlight the good news. We recognize that there were increases. All thefts were increased by 2%, robbery at 1%, and as the mayor just mentioned, carjackings unfortunately increased at 11%. But MPD continues to monitor these trends and prioritize the investigation of these cases. Solving these crimes are a priority for us. As I do every quarter, I want to use this opportunity to publicly thank the men and women in the Milwaukee Police Department, those who work hard and steadfast to protect our city, to protect those who work, play within our community. As we come off the heels of the holidays and New Year's celebrations, we need to remind everyone that MPD worked around the clock. There are no off days for this department. And although our numbers are down, as the mayor talked about, firearm violence continues to be a problem, especially when our youth are engaged in firearms. I'm briefed on every shooting, every homicide, every day. Hearing about teens getting shot because those are involved in gun swaps is absolutely unacceptable. Why do our kids think that possessing, handling, using firearms are okay? This is absolutely illegal. We have to teach our kids that reckless behavior with firearms isn't cool and that this isn't a lifestyle that anyone should choose. Let's continue to teach our youth positive conflict management and resolution skills. Continue to provide our youth positive outlets and mentorship opportunities. And as a reminder, everyone is an important part of public safety. With colder temperatures, remember vehicles stolen because they are left running. Do not leave your car running with keys in it. Be a part of the solution. As I reflect on the challenges for 2024 that have for our department and for our city, I still remain steadfast that our department's greatest challenge with our community is trust. As I said before, trust allows us to have better communication, cooperation, and assistance with the community that we all pledge to protect and serve. With that challenge in mind, I am proud to announce MPD's partnerships with the International Association of Chiefs of Police Trust Building Campaign. MPD joins other law enforcement agencies, both large and small, to continue to focus on building and maintaining trust with the electeds, with our community partners, and most importantly, with our residents. MPD is extremely proud that we have completed over 25 different action items to be allowed into this partnership with the ICP. We're committed to maintain this effort for the betterment of our department, for the betterment of the city. And as always, together, we are better. I'd like to open up for any particular questions that you may have.
Question about auto theft. The Kia Hyundai thing blew up, but now it's gone down, but it seems to stagnate. What can drive it down further?
So as we all know, there are still things that we as a community can do in regards to ensuring that we're getting those technological upgrades for the immobilization. Understanding that there's still other tools out there to ensure that the vehicle is not easily taken using clubs. The prevention stuff that we talk about. It's unfortunate that there still is a challenge, but not, as you noticed, a challenge that has been back in 2020, 2021. But we still see a number of unacceptable vehicles being stolen, where we ask the public to be more preventative, ensuring that there are items inside the vehicle that may be valuable, not out to see in the window, but also taking advantage of all those preventative natures I just mentioned.
Given that homicides and non-fatal shootings are down 24 and 23%, do you attribute that to the arrest of the individual that was passing around gun switches back in November, in which you partnered with the FBI?
So I always say this, there is no one particular item, group, action, the work that the mayor is doing, the work that our other elected officials are doing in regards to prevention, engagement by youth, also contributes. Obviously, yes, those partnerships with the FBI, with our many federal partners, are contributing factors to help reduce or impact violence. But like was just mentioned before, you know, zero's too many. Ensuring that we are leaning in with the community partnerships. We have a very robust engagement under our community engagement manager, Marcy Patterson, with our IMPAL and other different programs that we are a part of. But we also, there's a lot of other great work that's going on, you know, Mentor Greater Milwaukee, the work with Boys and Girls Club Greater Milwaukee. These are individuals taking the mantle or the baton of working with our youth, working with our community, but we still ask for the community to do a little bit more, meaning that lock up your firearms. Do not make it available for those who should not have them in their possession in the first place. But yes, going after those who are bringing that type of violence to our communities, selling lock switches, being involved in legal gun sales, are absolutely on our radar in regards to enforcement to impact overall firearm violence in our city. Yes.
Chief, what's the message to the Hispanic community, especially now Trump is coming back to the power and they're afraid to contact the police because the immigration status? What's the message that you have for them?
The biggest message you can take away that there is nothing changed in regards to behavior expected out of the Milwaukee Police Department. Working under the leadership of Mayor Johnson and also with our elected officials, we have constant communications in regards to what's going on within our city. And understand that we do have a guiding principle, Standard Operating Procedure 90, that we still follow. So it is important to understand that we as a department have not changed our outlook, our interaction, and we understand that we are responsible for, again, humane enforcement, to be, again, connected with our community, and to reassure that we are about enforcing the criminal laws in our community, that we are, again, about partnerships, about prevention, and that is business as usual for the Milwaukee Police Department. Y'all know if you want to add anything, sir?
No, I just would echo what the chief said. The city of Milwaukee has always been a welcoming place, will continue to be a welcoming place, and we value the partnerships we have with every single member of our community, including Latinos in our community as well. So you got a partner here in my office, you got a partner in the Milwaukee Police Department, so please feel free to make sure we continue the partnership. The hand continues to be extended.
Reckless driving, I know, is a big concern for residents, and on here it says hit-run crashes were consistent. Is there any initiative being taken this year to reduce reckless driving?
As it relates to reckless driving, we'll continue to make the improvements that we have been making to the streets in order to stop people from being able to drive recklessly in the first place. In addition to that, it's not just enforcement, it's not just those physical improvements, it's also education as well. And we're employing all three of those tools. We've got our Speeding We Can Live Without It educational campaign that's happening right now. We've also got, as part of our Vision Zero program, other initiatives that we're working on to address the issue of reckless driving in Milwaukee.
I have a few questions. One of them is, are we seeing more young people involved in serious offenses, and what's being done to keep them out of trouble?
I wouldn't say we've seen more, we're just seeing it consistent. And this is almost a broken record conversation. Again, as I talked about earlier in regards to that, we have a shared responsibility of safety in our community. When we see young people, especially those who are, young adults, the 19, 18-year-olds, with firearms, they don't go to your local gun store to purchase these weapons. They don't go into, sporting goods. These are items that are either negligently left around or not being responsible for securing their particular firearms within their homes or in their vehicles. And so when we talk about, juvenile issues or young people issues of crime, it's a crime of opportunity that we all can have a responsibility of impacting. Know what your children are doing. And for those who have concern about kids not being engaging into positive activities, being a part of those positive activities. The mayor just mentioned about Camp Rise. I have a great relationship with the, Mentor Greater Milwaukee or the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee. These are opportunities to engage with our youth. Our Milwaukee Police Athletic League engages with our youth every week. This is where we can really put some impact in that these particular behaviors are unacceptable, and we have to be in front of them and help with the prevention rather than always reacting. Some of those homicide numbers we talked about today, yes, we had double-digit reduction, but it could be even more. Many of those homicides were a kid with a handgun, unfortunately using it against another child. Absolutely preventable and absolutely unacceptable. So when we talk about these, young ones involved in these particular unfortunate circumstances, we as a community have to ask, how do we have a hand in that? How could we have prevented it? How could we have not made that another number? And so those are the challenges that I put out to our community. We as the Milwaukee Police Department is a partner with everyone out there to ensure that we are leaning into the impact. Yes, we're going to hold people accountable, but we also want to work harder on preventing.
And then,
That's two questions. You got two questions?
When we get a chance to come back around.
Okay.
You can get, it's okay.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Looking at the ages of,
So, as I started off in regards to acknowledging the work that the Milwaukee Police Department is doing, I mean, we have a collaboration between, again, our community engagement aspect. We have officers working on that, led by Marcy Patterson. But we also have some really great engagements from, all different bureaus. Yes, we're out and holding people accountable, ensuring that we're focused on the right individuals. But each bureau, meaning the Criminal Investigation Bureau, Patrol Bureau, are doing so much more than just that. Now, that's not a prime directive. Our directive is investigating, but we are engaged with our community. That is really part of the culture of the Milwaukee Police Department. But beyond that, we are working with our elected officials. We are working with, community-based organizations. We're working with anyone, as I've always said, who want to work with us. And so that culture is really, truly driving the Milwaukee Police Department, but also showing that we really want to be partners with our community. We want to work with our community and understand how can we enhance the work that they're doing in the community to make a better outcomes in regards to non-fatal shootings and homicides.
Wanted to circle back on carjackings. I know you addressed it a little bit, but obviously you guys announced Operation Winter Guardian to help with usage. I think that runs through January, if I recall right.
Yes, sir.
I was looking at some of the short-term data. I mean, they're down in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4-week period. Do you feel like it's working, and is there any conversation to perhaps extend that program? Because I know that's something a lot of folks in the community obviously think a lot about.
So just to level set this conversation, our biggest spike with carjackings happened over the summer. And the unfortunate thing is you can do a lot of harm in a short amount of time in regards to, because the biggest spike was in July. And we got that individual who was on a crime spree in regards to that, because we don't allow carjackings to take place too long in our community, especially when you get engaged in that behavior. It is a short run. But we do understand there's still others who are willing to take that risk that we need to make sure that we're being proactive and in front of. It's too early to say whether or not what is being just utilized as a winter guardian is as effective as we'd like it to be. We do have a number of arrests just within that short span of time. But after July, we were trending down with carjackings because, again, unfortunately, there are certain people who are responsible for a high number, and when you take that equation out, you see the numbers drop. And so it's more about preventing. I do say that we are very good at investigations. No one is a career carjacker, but we need to work on why are our young ones engaged in such a reckless and dangerous behavior. I mean, that is a crime of violence. So, again, working with these programs out here with our community-based organizations, being engaged with our youth to give them other choices, especially positive choices, working with the Office of Community Wellness and Safety. Those are real game changers and also long-term, because the unfortunate thing is you're not going to rush your way out of this. You're not going to scare anyone out of this particular type of dangerous behavior.
When it comes to the decline in homicides and non-fatal shootings, are you hopeful that that's going to continue into this new year?
I'm not only hopeful, but I can see that we do have a great energy and a great direction that we're going in regards to this. This is about collaboration and working. I know that we have what we call a public safety review, which is working with our partners every week. We're involved in the VR-FAST, which is violence response and public health and safety teams. As part of the vision and mission of the Milwaukee Police Department, we talk about sustainability. It's not about just having that one-hit wonder. It's about how do we continue to have these engagements and these collaborations to ensure that we have a consistency in regards to the results that you're seeing. So as 2025, as we all do on New Year's Day, is make those commitments and wish, and and definitely I'm looking very not only hopeful but positive about the direction and the collaborations. I know that the mayor might want to say a couple of things, but it is nice to see the direction we're going and we're maintaining that.
Yeah, I think Chief, I absolutely am hopeful that we'll see this direction continue into 2025. I've been very, very pleased, as I said, with the direction that we're going. We're not resting on our laurels, right? There's still so much work for all of us to do. But part of that continued success relies not just on me or the chief of police, but it relies on folks in the community too. Like, everybody's a part of public safety. I don't know how many times I've said that at this podium. Everybody has a role to play as it relates to public safety. So if the public continues to partner with us as they have over the course of the last number of years, the hand is extended, as I mentioned before. Reach back and grab that hand, and we can continue to make this city a safer place for everybody. I'm very hopeful.
I'd like to ask about something other than crime stats, if I can. Mayor, it's been a year since the deadline passed for MPS to put SRO, school resource officers, in schools. A recent deadline, and I want to, a recent statement from MPS, and I want to quote it, says they're, quote, waiting for the city to provide resources for the program. What is the city doing to put SROs in school?
The city of Milwaukee has consistently worked to be in a position to do this. As a matter of fact, I liked what we had done before. The district decided to sever the relationship with the Milwaukee Police Department, where MPS paid for, I believe, 5/6 of the costs when those officers were in schools, and then the city picked up that last 1/6 the costs when summer was in and those officers weren't needed in schools. I've continued to have conversations with leadership at Milwaukee Public Schools, and we'll continue to have conversations with them too, because this is something that we just need to get done. I've gone on record that I think that the school district should not have severed the relationship in the first place. I think they probably went a little too far back when that happened. So it's incumbent upon all of us to continue working together in order to make sure we get officers or get the relationship with the Milwaukee Police Department and MPS back to what it once was, and I'm committed to doing that.
In their statement, they basically point the finger at you, saying we're waiting for the city. What is your response to that?
Well, I can tell you the city of Milwaukee has consistently been working at this. It's not a city of Milwaukee issue, although we will be the ones leading to work to make sure that the issue is resolved.
Who pays for it at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, again, as I said, the way we had it set up before, MPS picked up the vast majority of those costs, and the city took those officers on in the summertime. I think that's a pretty good model to go on. But we'll continue to have conversations with the leadership over at Milwaukee Public Schools in order to make sure we ultimately get this done. That is what my goal is to ultimately get this done.
Chief, what is your department doing to put officers in school?
Continue to work with MPS to get this particular work done, and we're having continuous conversations. So once we are able to get a point where all parties agree about what is the, I guess, rules of engagement, so to speak, we'll see that we'll see the program back again. I always say this, we have not left MPS in regards to the work that we're doing with them. There's still officers in the school. We still respond. Just is not considered a SRO program.
And lastly, I guess I'll say just this one last thing is that, usually when you go to a restaurant, right, and you order a meal, the chef doesn't prepare your meal and then pay the bill. That's essentially what we're being asked to do, and I think that's wrong for taxpayers in the city of Milwaukee. So we'll continue to work with leadership at MPS to get it sorted out. All right,
So you're saying you're not going to pay for all of it?
I'm saying that we will work to get it sorted out. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So just to bounce off that, there's no timeline. Do you have a scheduled timeline of when you guys will figure it out, since it is 2025?
Yeah, I mean, again, I had gone on record saying that they shouldn't have gone that far in the first place. I wish that this would have been resolved beforehand. We've been actively working with MPS in order to get it resolved. I want to get it done as soon as possible. I think it's important. I think it's needed. And we'll continue working with the district in order to make sure we get it resolved.
We'll take one more question.
To go off of about police staffing and recruitment measures, can you guys talk a little bit about that? And are you well equipped for 2025, or are you looking to recruit more officers, and what measures are taking place there this year?
The chief may have some additional comments. We're always looking to recruit more police officers. I think that as you look at the budgets that I have proposed to the Common Council over the course of the last number of years, we have made substantial investments in recruiting for the Milwaukee Police Department, including the budget for this year, for 2025, as it was in 2024. I proposed three classes at the Police Academy, and those 3 classes are funded for 65 recruits each, which is the maximum amount of officers that we can produce for the Milwaukee Police Department in a given year. So our commitment is there, has been there, and will remain to be there. Chief, anything you want to add there?
Just that we're leaning into the work. I know we have a class in-house right now that will be graduating, and everyone here is invited to the graduation in February. We have another class right in tandem with that. We're working to do lateral, so the effort is there. We do have challenges in regards to the recruitment from, again, the number of people applying. But that's where I come back to the media and everyone else that have that narrative that it's okay to be an officer. This is a noble profession. We need to make sure that we're all putting the effort in to recruit and help spread the word. It's not that we don't need officers. We need good officers. And so the door is always open for anyone who wants to join this noble profession profession I've been almost 29 years in, and that it's important for individuals to understand that we are still putting the robust effort to ensure that we have proper staffing.
Chief, can you share any more details since last night's police shooting?
No.
Can you define the struggle between police and
I
the
have
suspect?
just one quick question about the police shooting. I know the officer involved, you said he was going to be taken to a hospital to get checked out. Is there any word if he was injured or any update on his status?
So the officer is okay. I know we, as part of our process, get our officers checked out. But at this particular point, in regards to being okay physically, that when we have these type of incidents, there is a mental toll and other things that we don't see. But as right now, physically.
Thank you, guys.